So how did you get involved in past life regression therapy?
Well, I've always been interested in reincarnation since I was a teenager, and then sort of forgot all about it until 1987, when Shirley MacLaine, Out on a Limb, was made into a mini series and showed for 2 nights on ABC in January. I'll never forget that, because it was my big, and I think not only mine, but a lot of other sleeping metaphysicians woke up that night, right?
Yeah.
And when she started talking about her past lives, I thought, oh yeah, I was really interested in that when I was a teenager. And it just, especially the past life part of it, just really just brought me back to the surface of, oh, I really want to do this now for a living. And so when I say for a living, I mean on a professional basis. And that same year, 1987, I joined Edgar Cayce's ARE, Association for Research and Enlightenment. And I was living in Chicago at the time, and I became involved with the Heartland region, because at that point in time, the ARE was regionalizing. So they were setting up regions in different parts of the country, with the idea being that you wouldn't have to come all the way to Virginia Beach to go to a program. It would be basically in your backyard. So I became involved with the ARE Heartland region. And in doing so, I met some really phenomenal speakers, some of whom were noted in the field of reincarnation studies. I became friends with them, and we talked and told them my story and about my own suspicions about my own past lives. And I decided to start a research organization for past life work, and I called it Plexus. And so we had meetings every month, and I brought in speakers. And in that way, I was widening my circle. At this point in time, I wasn't doing regression therapy at all. I saw myself as a writer. As a matter of fact, on my website, I identify myself as a reporter for the universe.
I like
because
that.
that's how I saw myself. I was a writer by profession, and I love doing research. So all I wanted to do was hear about everybody's experiences, and then write them down and then send it out to the world. And that was my job. But then Henry Leo Baldock, who has since passed away, but he was really big with the ARE back in the late 80s, early 90s, said to me once, he said, Joanne, you know more about past life work than 90% of the therapists that are out there. Why aren't you doing this work? I said, nah, I'm a reporter for the universe. I don't do this work. And he badgered me and badgered me and badgered me. Finally, I said, okay, all right already, Henry. So I got my hypnotherapy certification through the Eastern Institute of Hypnosis. And then many years later, I got my master's in Transpersonal Studies and my spiritual mentor certification through Atlantic University, which is, as you know, maybe it's part of ARE.
Yeah.
And so I have been doing this work now for over 30 years, and it has just been a real passion of mine, and one of the most humbling experiences I have ever had in terms of the impact that it has on other people.
Yeah, I mean, it is so profoundly impactful. Like, it's amazing the work that can be accomplished during that. And yeah, and I could definitely see the passion. Definitely, I've seen so many of your interviews, and I was just going, wow, like this girl knows what she's talking about. And you can really tell. And it's like, maybe she had a past life doing this in a past life. Which is, one of the things I wanted to talk about, your own past life. But yeah, I remember that Shirley MacLaine thing, because that's how I got introduced to past life. And we used to joke about it all the time. And, one of the running jokes is like somebody was being an idiot, and we'd say, oh, why is this thing happening to me? And we would always say, because you're an asshole in a past life. That was our running joke around the house. And it was because of Shirley MacLaine. We saw the video, but also her book came out, and everybody was like, you had two sides of it. One people that,
oh yeah,
oh, this is awesome, I believe in this 100%. And then she's like, oh, she's a whack job. Like, she's crazy.
Yeah.
She smoked way too much. Yeah, she took a lot of heat for that. I remember that. And it almost like killed her career, but she seemed to bounce through it. And
well, she did such a service though to so many people.
Yeah.
And I just admire her for that tremendously.
Yeah. And, It's so interesting. I know you talked about on your website about the strength and the wisdom of past lives and how important it is. So, why would somebody come to see you for past life regression? What were some of the reasons maybe somebody would come visit you?
I will tell you, Michael, the number one reason that I get from people is that they don't know why they're here.
Yeah,
Why, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what my soul's mission is. So that's one thing. Some of them are just curious. They've read about it and they're just curious about it. I have to watch that though, because I don't do this for entertainment purposes. So, I explain to them, this is really going to change your life. Because we are the sum total of all the lives that we've lived, and we are working on certain karmic issues in this life that we brought in with us from a previous life, and that many times is holding us back or causing us some grief. Or on the flip side, it could be a talent, skill, or ability that we brought in with us that we're applying to our lives now. So just really to know yourself, to know your soul's journey from the moment of creation until now, is one of the main reasons for doing it. So when I do a regression with somebody, I always take them to the life that's most impacting them now, because we've lived so many past lives that, it would be impossible to just pick one in a conscious state. So I ask the soul, what are they working on? Where did this all start? Where was the origin of this issue? Some of them have relationship issues. Some of them have health issues. I did a whole research project around chronic health conditions to trace it to whether it was from a previous lifetime or not. Some of them, financial issues, there's all kinds of reasons for them to come for a session, but they all leave a completely different person. Even if they come in sort of skeptical, like, I'm not sure about this, they don't feel that way when they finish the session, that's for sure.
yeah. I've heard so many amazing things about that type of therapy and how just from health issues. I know so many people go for certain health issues and how it can be alleviated or just brought to the surface, because it's so amazing how everything gets stored in that subconscious mind. When you bring it to the subconscious mind, you have that awareness of what's going on. Then you go, oh, okay, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
a lot of
Now it
aha
makes
moments.
sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, that aha moment. And
Yeah.
that in itself could be liberating in itself and healing.
Very healing indeed. That's why I did that. I heard Dr. Norm Shealy at a medical intuition conference at the ARE one year. And the first thing he said when he came out on the stage was that he believes that all chronic conditions can be traced to a previous life. And I thought, whoa, this is a medical doctor making this statement. It got me so excited, because my goal always has been to try to mainstream past life regression work, not to make it, people think of it as woo woo, or people think of it as something that's against their religious beliefs or whatever, predisposed belief they're into. And so when a medical doctor makes a statement like that, just like when Dr. Brian Weiss came out with all of his work, I mean, that really lent a lot of credibility to this topic. And I think it opened it up to a lot more people than previously had been done.